For decades, Weightwatchers has assisted countless individuals in losing weight and enhancing their overall wellness. As a pioneering force in the dieting industry since the 1960s, the company has remarkably stayed relevant through the years. While its long history includes various peaks and valleys, recent challenges have proven particularly severe. Put simply, Weightwatchers has experienced a predominantly declining trajectory since 2018. Let me share several key metrics that illustrate this point. Annual revenues have consistently dropped, now sitting at roughly 50% of their former peak. Earnings have similarly declined year over year, eventually becoming net losses starting in 2022, partly attributed to goodwill write-downs. Perhaps most alarming is the stock performance. Weightwatchers has shed more than 99% of its market value. During summer 2018, purchasing a single share would have cost upwards of $100. Today, that identical share trades for approximately 25 cents. A company once valued at $6 billion has shrunk to around $20 million. September 2024 saw the unexpected departure of the company's CEO. Then in May 2025, Weightwatchers entered bankruptcy proceedings to discharge over $1 billion in outstanding debt. On a positive note, the company anticipates completing this process within 45 days. Leadership maintains that as discussions around weight management evolve towards sustainable health, their dedication to providing the most credible, evidence-based, and comprehensive programs rooted in peer support and enduring outcomes remains unwavering and increasingly vital. The company will likely continue operating and supporting numerous individuals on their wellness paths. However, I'd like to examine how circumstances reached this critical juncture. Throughout this presentation, I'll explore the brand's history while highlighting what I consider the four primary factors contributing to its downturn. Jean Nidetch's vision. Weightwatchers originated in the early 1960s through Jean Nidetch's initiative. Having battled weight issues throughout her life, the turning point came when a neighbor at the supermarket inquired about her pregnancy due date. Since she wasn't expecting, this awkward encounter served as a wake-up moment, compelling her to seriously address her weight concerns. She participated in a nutrition seminar conducted by the New York City Board of Health, but found adherence challenging, particularly regarding her beloved Malomar cookies. Discussing her cookie temptation with friends proved beneficial, as they reciprocated by sharing their own dietary challenges, and the concept began developing organically. She began conducting weight management support gatherings in her home, which attracted increasingly larger crowds, necessitating moves to more spacious locations. Jean Nidetch, her spouse, and another couple, Al and Felice Lippert, who had successfully shed significant weight through the program, collaborated to formally establish Weightwatchers. The inaugural public gathering drew over 400 attendees to a space above a cinema. From there, they cultivated an extremely devoted following that some observers likened to a faith-based movement. Soon, Weightwatchers franchises emerged, along with a children's summer program, a publication, a recipe book, and supermarket frozen dinners. Quick favor, if you found this video interesting, subscribing helps us cover more rise and fall stories like this. Kindly do please. Corporate acquisition and growth. In 1978, the food corporation Heinz, the ketchup manufacturer, sought to purchase one of the licensed companies producing these frozen products, believing it would complement their frozen food line, or IDA, acquired years earlier. Following additional investigation, Heinz ultimately acquired all of Weightwatchers for $71 million. Throughout subsequent decades, their backing and infrastructure helped the Weightwatchers brand expand substantially in value. The rebranding misstep. In 2018, after operating as Weightwatchers for over 5 decades, they transitioned to simply WW, stating these letters represented nothing specifically but aligned with their fresh slogan, "Wellness that works." Essentially, they aim to broaden the brand's scope beyond weight reduction to encompass general health and wellness, a reasonable concept, theoretically. Yet this represented an enormous gamble. Weightwatchers is memorable, descriptive, and had accumulated decades of brand recognition. For instance, I didn't title this presentation "The Decline of WW" because most viewers wouldn't recognize that reference. Beyond these concerns, they implemented extensive branding changes rapidly and late in the calendar year. Everyone knows January typically brings New Year's resolutions focused on weight loss. Therefore, shifting branding away from weight reduction during the preceding months seemed ill-advised. The then CEO, Mindy Grossman, acknowledged, "I think it needed to be more weight loss focused, especially in the January season." The start of 2019 was very weak. Remember, this coincided with Weightwatchers beginning its downward spiral. Then, approximately 1 year later, the pandemic created additional complications with reduced in-person gatherings, always a cornerstone of the program. Retrospectively, that rebranding was both risky and poorly scheduled, though we've merely touched the surface of much deeper issues. Intensifying competition. Consider that weight management represents one of the most dynamic markets available. Since losing weight proves difficult, people continuously seek newer, simpler, more effective options that better suit their needs. How frequently does a new weight loss phenomenon become the latest sensation? Each occurrence negatively affects Weight Watchers. During the 1990s, rivals like Jenny Craig and Slim Fast reached their zenith alongside diet pills. However, in 1997, Weight Watchers mounted an impressive resurgence by introducing their points framework. This system rapidly gained popularity due to its straightforward nature, primarily based on caloric content. They allocated points to various foods, limiting daily point consumption. They significantly updated the system, calling it Points Plus, where most fruits and vegetables became 0 points, meaning unlimited consumption, which helped trigger another revival. My point is that Weight Watchers has impressively maintained relevance and repeatedly reinvented itself despite constantly shifting competition. Most recently, their primary challenge has emerged from weight loss medications like Ozempic, and their response hasn't been particularly strong. In 2023, they invested $132 million acquiring a telehealth platform connecting patients with physicians, ultimately enabling access to prescription weight management drugs. They've even developed a program combining their points framework with medication. Nevertheless, these initiatives have faced criticism as inadequate, belated, and somewhat divergent from the psychological community foundation that built the business. In summary, Weight Watchers has hemorrhaged members as these drugs gain popularity, proving more detrimental than perhaps any previous competitor. Celebrity influence and departure. Witnessing someone familiar, possibly admired, discuss their weight loss and health improvement through Weight Watchers can powerfully motivate others to try it themselves. Dating back to early days, founder Jean Nidich achieved celebrity status herself. She excelled at public speaking, displayed great charisma, and shed over 70 pounds using the program. She appeared on late-night television and hosted promotional events. For the company's 10th anniversary in 1973, over 15,000 people attended Madison Square Garden for a celebration. Even among conventional celebrities present like Bob Hope, she remained the primary draw. Even after selling to Heinz, she continued making public appearances for Weight Watchers well in the 1980s and apparently remained a consultant until her death at 91 in 2015. When they introduced the revolutionary points system in 1997, Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, heavily promoted it and remained their chief spokesperson for the following decade. Then when they modified that points system in 2010, Jennifer Hudson became the new representative. Undoubtedly, the most significant example occurred in 2015 when Oprah Winfrey joined the organization not merely as a spokesperson. She invested $42 million purchasing 10% of the company and joining the board. No introduction needed. She's an extraordinarily influential figure who has publicly struggled with weight. I can't envision anyone more suitable for the brand. When CNN covered this, their headline read, "Oprah comes to the rescue of Weight Watchers." She proceeded to lose 40 pounds using the program, and I genuinely believe her participation was the single most significant factor behind their subsequent major comeback. Then in 2024, she announced her board resignation and donated her shares to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, effectively concluding her involvement. Part of her stated reasoning was that she'd begun taking those weight loss medications and wished to avoid any apparent conflict of interest. This reinforces my previous point that even their spokesperson abandoned Weight Watchers in favor of competing weight loss drugs. Excessive debt and financial maneuvers. In 1999, shortly after revitalizing the business with that point system, Heinz wanted to concentrate efforts on their ketchup and other food products. They sold Weightwatchers for $735 million, approximately 10 times their purchase price 21 years earlier. The buyer, predictably, was a European investment firm that financed it predominantly through debt that Weightwatchers had to repay. Adding another layer, 2 years later, they began selling portions publicly through the stock market. Then in early 2012, following the entire Points Plus Jennifer Hudson revival, exactly when Weightwatchers achieved all-time peak sales and profits, the company borrowed additional funds to repurchase substantial stock at elevated prices, something like $70 to $80 per share. Strictly regarding the bankruptcy, the 1999 buyout and 2012 stock repurchase are unquestionably the primary causes. That's where most debt originated that they're now attempting to eliminate. Their current CEO stated, "Our existing debt has been a significant burden on the business for many years and has resulted in approximately $100 million of annual interest payments in each of the last 2 years." That's understating it, since interest payments have averaged over $100 million annually since that buyback over a decade ago, which obviously complicated operations and profitability. Share your perspective in the comments regarding Weightwatchers. Is it a valuable program that leverages emotion and community to transform your health, understanding, and self-perception fundamentally? Or does it merely blend with countless other weight management and wellness programs? Essentially, I'm questioning whether it's sufficiently effective to compete against, or at least complement newer weight loss medications and applications, or whatever else might emerge. Or will it gradually disappear as it continues contracting? Finally, I'm curious whether you've ever participated in Weightwatchers, and if so, what's your assessment? Share any other thoughts about Weightwatchers or anything else in this presentation in the comments. I'd appreciate hearing your perspective. Thanks for watching.